We are live. There we go. Hey, everybody. After a little bit of a hiatus, the gang is back. Welcome back to the GenX Book Club. Along with me is Del Roehling
Hello.
and Suzanne Mattaboni.
Hi. Yay.
And and this month we'll be covering Steve Martin's Born Standing Up. And it was published wow, almost 20 years ago on November 20th, 2007 officially, and it covers his stand-up years. It doesn't get to the movies except maybe The Jerk when he had his breakout, but yeah, it focuses on his stand-up. And I knew obviously he was a stand-up, but then you forget like how huge he was at the time, especially by the late 70s. So that this was fun to see him, getting up to that level. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. And as with all the other celebrity memoirs we've read, the thing that just hits me is how much work these people put in. It's no accident that they're that famous. It just doesn't fall in their laps. It's incredible how disciplined and everything they go through to get where they are. So it's awesome. I don't know what do you guys think? What did you think of the book?
It was a lot
Susan?
of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Hmm.
I listened to that one. Like I usually will just
Hmm.
sit and read, or at least read on Kindle at least, if not the physical book. But I listened to this one because I wanted to hear him, kind of tell the story in his own voice. Um, so that was fun. I mean, he read it in kind of a formal way. It didn't
Hmm.
really sound like Steve Martin. It sounded like Steve Martin reading.
Yeah.
So, but even so, it was a lot of fun. It really, it's really
Yeah.
intriguing, like hearing where all those early jokes and things that became
Those
like so
bits.
freaking iconic,
Hmm.
where they came from. That they came from, people that he worked with when he was a teenager, because he lived in California and he worked at Disney World or Disney
Right. Yeah.
and I'm imagining all those like early shopkeepers at Disneyland and how like entertaining they all were.
Hmm.
He got all this material from them. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think I had it on the Kindle, but I also was reading a lot. Like I had the audio too, and like it transitioned. He was playing the banjo in it too. So when it would transition, I think between chapters, you hear him playing the banjo. So that was pretty cool.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What'd you think, Dal?
I loved it, and I'm a big Steve Martin fan anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
but I it's been a while since we've met, obviously, and a while since we've read this. So I'm trying to remember some of the details. But I think if I remember correctly, he did not set out to be a comedian. He just wanted to entertain people. And I think it was, if I remember right, it was he wanted like he was a magician almost, and that was,
Right.
and then that he real I think he realized he couldn't make a living at that, so he just started doing comedy, and it led to where he is now. So yeah, so you talked about the struggles that they go through to get there. It's just not like it just fell in his lap. He just sort of evolved into this career. So pretty fascinating.
Yeah. And as with here a lot of celebrities, it sounds like he had you know issues growing up. In his cases with his dad, him and his dad didn't have the greatest relationship. Um,
It's very
in
much a
the
shame.
in the Kindle, it has like he had like a bunch of pictures and stuff. So you see the pictures he's growing up, and he looks exactly like his dad. It's crazy. Yeah, yeah, um,
Wow. Yes,
yeah,
I didn't see the pictures. Is that
yeah,
audiobook? But
yeah.
that was sad. Yeah, it's really his family situation was not great. And it's almost like his father was like jealous of him. His father went to
Yeah,
They were in California because his father wanted to be an actor, and he
right.
had a career that didn't go anywhere.
Hmm.
And then his son turned out to be this amazing comedian. I mean, eventually, like we're saying, he worked his way and evolved into the professional that he was. But even so, it seemed like his father was like so jealous, he just like couldn't stand it. And
Hmm.
so they had like no relationship. But I can imagine like when you're a kid, you don't like think for a minute that that's what the problem is. You think like there must
Mm,
be something wrong with me, you know? That sucks.
yeah. Yes, yeah. In retrospect, he must, see that now that that's what and I think they may have made amends, at the end and stuff. But yeah, yeah. So that was tough. Yeah, like we said, he started with his with the magic tricks. I forgot what he got, but then he learned from a book or something, and then he started picking. He's observant of like all the different performers and everything, so he might
Yeah, and he
picked
works
up
in like
tricks.
a joke shop, where they had
Right.
those really corny props and stuff that became, just like staple Steve Martin silliness that everybody just loved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That. Mhm.
I was going to say we were talking about the arrow through the head
Oh
prop
yeah.
earlier, and I mean that was what 40 plus years ago, almost 50 years ago, when he was doing that, and we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty incredible.
Was that the one when he was he, he wasn't getting a reaction from the crowd, and then he put it on to get a joke, but then he left it on by accident. I didn't think he I think he didn't mean to like leave it on the whole time. So the rest of the set he had it on, and he was
The silly stuff that he did that stuck, like, and
yeah,
it wasn't, not that all of it was by accident, but like he noticed when something weird took off, and like
yeah,
it worked. And then just made sure that that was the thing that was, happening every time that he was on stage.
mhm,
It was just like he started with like ridiculous things. I guess if you think back to the 70s and the way comedy was, the standard comedian, maybe you think about like George Carlin, who was, very crazy funny, but he just kind of stood and talked, or like Lenny
right,
Bruce, so just stood and talked. But meanwhile, Steve Martin was talking about like early gigs where he would like make the audience like get out of their seats and follow him down the street, and they went to
yeah,
like and he bought them all
yeah,
like hot dogs or something like that, or
yeah,
just, I mean, weird, just really weird things that he said developed from like he was doing a show in a classroom, I think, or something at a college, and
hmm,
the the students like wouldn't let him leave. Like they didn't believe that the shtick was over, and he was like,
right,
"Okay, I'm done now. Put your stuff away." And he couldn't get out of the classroom, so he said, "All right, everybody, get up and come with me." And they went like to the swimming
yeah,
pool or something, and once again, that became a thing that he just started doing at his events until it was he got too
too
big
big,
to
yeah,
be able to take the whole audience down the street for ice cream. But to me, that's just hysterical. Like he just ran with it. It's like, okay, so they think I'm not done. Maybe I'm not done. Come on, we're gonna go. We're gonna go outside. Everybody come with me.
yeah, and yeah, it was interesting to me too that he had a notebook, and he'd write notes after every show of what worked and what didn't, and that's like how meticulous he was, and that's that helped a lot with his success. He knew what to basically journaling, and I think that kind of helped with his process. It was interesting to see his process. Yeah, I don't know if all comedians do that. Probably not. So he's a little
I don't
outside the box. Yeah.
know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know too many comedians personally, but
Yeah.
to say whether that's a process. But I think I saw Jerry Seinfeld's documentary, the one that like he narrates himself, and he kept tons and tons and tons of notes, and he still has them. There was a scene where like he just spread them all out all around him, like a whole room full
uh,
of yellow notebook papers and things. So who knows? Maybe just trying to like catch the lightning in a bottle and writing things down. So
right. Yeah. Well, I mean, instead of well, maybe he wrote ideas down too as it came to him, but he would like basically critique himself after each show, saying, "Oh, this didn't work, or this worked." And, um, oh, God, I can't remember what he said. He was on the Tonight Show. This got me down rabbit holes of watching his Tonight Show appearances, and he talked about taking the notes, so that then he'd be on with Johnny Carson. He said, so he went through his notes on certain, whatever days he was on the show. He say, oh, this worked really well, but Johnny was boring, and then and then he go to the next one. He talk about something happened. Oh, Johnny was boring, something like that.
Yeah, surprised. Said he was on Carson like what, like multiple times before anybody paid a bit of attention to him. Like he said it
Yeah,
was, yeah, it didn't help him at all. Like people didn't even know
right.
who he was after being on Carson like 4 times. So
Hmm.
that that I found that kind of interesting that it
which
took
is
audiences. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, which is unusual because it was always if Johnny, I mean, I think I remember that a comedian would come out and if Johnny had you come over after your bit and sit on the couch, like you had made it at
That
that
was
point.
right.
And so
Yeah,
for him to have done that multiple times and still not be noticed is just, it's odd. But somebody eventually noticed, but yeah, it took time.
Yeah,
I guess I think
Maybe it
maybe
was
what
just he was too much ahead of his time or something.
maybe.
People
Yeah.
weren't ready for it.
I think so. Yeah, he was too weird. And now looking back on it, it doesn't sound weird now. But once he started describing the things that he was doing, and I was remembering that to that time frame, I was like, yeah, you know what? That was pretty weird. That was like almost like performance art that he was doing,
Mm.
as
Hmm.
opposed to just like stand up and tell jokes,
Mhm.
or have a narrative going.
Do either of you remember, because again, it's been a while with the book, do how he got his connection to SNL, like how that started? Because that's where I remember him first was on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, do I have that? He discovered Saturday Night Live. Um, his first appearance was in 1976. I think he did. Was it Dan Aykroyd? I think he knew like one of the people that was in it. But
Yeah, I
I
think.
mean, it would make sense. That would be the only way, but it just seemed like all of a sudden there he was on Saturday Night Live.
Well, I think
Would
by the time he was on Saturday Night Live, see, I remember I was um I was like a young teenager, like around this time, like mid 70s, I guess, or like a tween, I guess, when Saturday Night Live was still on. I was first on. I do remember watching, but I remember that he had the comedy album out, which was called Let's Get Small.
yeah.
And I remember like hanging around with like the older kids
yeah,
listening to the album because there were references on it that made it sound, like he was joking around, but Let's Get Small was kind of almost like a drug reference, like, small, he's talking about things that really sounded like he was like high on his butt, but in any case, so it was like, ooh, it was almost like this taboo thing that you listen to the Steve Martin, routine about Let's Get Small. But I do remember that being a big phenomenon before I remember seeing him on Saturday Night
Hmm.
Live was the record. Like
yeah,
now, I don't know, do people make comedy records anymore? They make like Netflix specials instead. So
yeah, yeah. All that's so funny. Yeah, because I remember a lot of the comedy albums being taboo. Richard Pryor, George Carlin. It
Eddie
was like,
Murphy.
yeah, it'd be like so
Yeah.
dirty, and yeah, you wouldn't be allowed. So it'd be, yeah, you can sneak and listen to them. yeah,
cool thing. And you listen to the
yeah,
comedy routines because they weren't, on television, there was no cable or anything at the
right.
time.
Yeah,
Everything was very
yeah,
tame and very
clean.
censored,
Hmm.
but the comedy albums were not.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think of like Lenny Bruce or Red Fox. He was another one that to his comedy is different than Sanford and Son. uh, yeah, I have some things from the book here. It says age 18, I had absolutely no gifts. I could not sing or dance. The only acting I did was shouting. So thankfully, perseverance is a great substitute for talent. But yeah, he definitely was persevere. He definitely persevered. He going to the clubs all the time and everything. You see, the birdcage is the first place where he was able to work steady, 6 minutes at a time, four times a day, 5 on Sunday for 3 years. So spending 3 years doing work like that, and yeah,
Yeah, see, and he can kid around like, oh, I didn't have any talents, but that's a freaking talent,
yeah.
being that persistent and that devoted, and like you said, and then afterwards, like completely analyzing yourself and writing all these critiques and stuff.
On top of that,
And
yeah,
he seemed to me, I mean, he was very innovative, whether he thought it was innovation or just him, musing and not realizing that was kind of breaking the mold.
Mhm.
But um, I don't know. It seemed to me like he was very practical and very strategic because I love things like he said he started wearing that white suit. I mean, once again, this was
Mhm.
early Steve Martin. Like when he did those comedy routines
Mhm.
for Let's Get Small, he was known for always wearing the white suit. And then he had, gray hair for a young person. It was very striking. But he said he started wearing the white suit because a lot of his jokes and his gags were physical,
Yeah.
where he, like pretend to get like shocked by the microphone or what have you. And,
Yeah.
he's wearing the arrow. And he said that once he started doing things that were outside of like small clubs, he didn't think anybody was going to be able to see what he was doing.
Mhm.
So he wore the white suit so that the joke would come off to the people in the back
In the
of the,
back.
the auditorium or wherever it was. So
Mhm.
to me, it's like that's freaking brilliant. So now he wears the exact same thing every time. It's on the album cover. It's not just everybody knows that's him. But it was basically so that he could pull off the jokes
Yeah.
and they wouldn't fall flat. So I mean it's smart.
Mhm.
It's he wasn't just, fooling around. He was smart, he was strategic, and he worked like a crazy man.
Yeah. Consistency works.
Yeah, it's true. Worked out.
Yep. Um, oh yeah, another interesting thing was I didn't know about he had fear of nightfall. He'd have panic attacks for like decades. You which for comedian that's like performing at night, that's that's kind of brutal. So he's like doing all this while he has all this going on too, the panic attacks. Yeah, even just like the style. It's probably one of my favorite styles of comedy is like having the confidence, no matter how stupid you look, make the audience think that you're like the greatest, and have like this big ego, but no matter what happens. Oh, oh, yeah. And then was the Smothers Brothers like his first? I think that might
Yeah,
have been his first
he was a
writing
writer.
gig.
That's right. He was a comedy writer for the Smothers Brothers, and a couple of things that he mentioned that, I had heard of, that I remember from the now then I was that was in the 60s, I was a child, but I do
Mhm.
remember the shows themselves. I know that I was allowed to watch them, but but it was very prominent in pop culture, like Laughing and the Smothers Brothers and those. If you
Mhm.
watch them now, have you watched those shows? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
now it's like they're just so goofy, and this was
yeah.
like real controversial stuff at the time.
Right, yeah,
So
yeah.
they've
Then the Smothers
come a
Brothers,
long
they got
way,
kicked off and stuff. I think they
right?
might have gotten kicked off the air.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you look on YouTube, you can actually like bring him on stage and everything. He performs on there too. And yeah, he was starting to get work there. Sonny and Cher.
That's right.
Uh,
That was the other one that I
yeah,
watched as a kid.
I didn't I
It
didn't look
was
to
kind of
see if
fun.
yeah, I remember that when I was a kid. I remember that being yeah, that was like that variety show period. Yeah, Sonny and Cher, Johnny and Marie.
Right. My
And
husband and I, we will joke a lot that in the 70s, like everybody had a variety show. Like if you had least amount of popularity, they threw you on the stage and they gave you a variety show.
yeah,
And they just had people, writing those silly jokes for you in little sketches. And then they had a musical guest come on at the end and you all
yeah,
danced together and
yeah,
that's the show. Yay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, maybe the greatest variety show is the Muppet Show, honestly. So
Uh, love the
I'd agree with
Muppet
that.
Show. I wanted to be on the Muppet Show so bad.
Yeah.
That'd be
he
so
must have been
cool.
on there. I didn't look. He did. I don't think
Did
he mentioned it in the book, but
I bet he was.
Disney Plus relaunched it with one
yeah.
episode, and I
Well,
was hoping it would take off, but I haven't heard any news that they were going to bring it back completely.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, see, yeah, and then he was on. I even know if that he was on Steve Allen. He appeared 50 times through. He was with there in 3 to 4 years, and then he alternated between high profile and low profile gigs. Yeah, so he was getting popular, but he'd still do some local places. Yeah, I even noticed for some of his jokes with the he tricks himself about the shoelace. He tells himself his shoelace is tied, but then it's tied. He likes playing tricks on himself.
He
But
was good. He was
yeah,
good.
yeah,
I mean, he moved on to bigger things, but that was good. He was
yeah,
freaking funny. It was a
yeah,
good one.
yeah. He did, and then there was the one he did with the audience. I think he has the audience close their eyes that he's gonna shrink, and so that he ends up raising the microphone really high, and then he tells them to open their eyes, so that it looks like he's
Right.
shrunk. It's like so stupid, but it's so funny.
I know, but just the fact that he pulled it off, like, like you say, making like that's the funniest thing in the world. It's really
Yeah, yeah,
like an 8-year-old would
yeah,
do,
yeah, exactly.
right? It's the confidence that makes it funny.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Yeah, as I was coming across some of these videos, I would post them in the GenX Book Club Facebook group. So yeah, yeah, this really yeah, one of my favorite things about this book, it had me like go back and watching this stuff, especially specific ones that he mentioned. That I always go back and watch that, and oh yeah, and I have the like his big breakout one on the Johnny Carson one when he did Vegas Club Act in 2 minutes. So he was doing like a full, he was talking really fast, but it was like pretty spot on. And then like while he was doing it, the camera panned over to Johnny, and Johnny was like falling back laughing, and I think that was the moment that. It was
Oh,
kind of spontaneous, so I think that's what because you can't fake that. And then yeah,
right.
Sammy
Like Del
Davis.
was saying, if you made Johnny laugh and you got him on your side, that was it. Then you were
Yeah, thing you were
great
in.
man in
Yeah.
comedy.
And then Sammy Davis Jr. was like guest on that, and he was like a big Vegas person. So then after that bit, the Sammy came out and hugged him. So that was it. That solidified it there.
Go
um,
Steve.
oh, I forgot how what the reference was. How the well, excuse me. I forgot how that started. I totally forgot that he did that. That was a huge thing. One of his
No, like all these things
trademarks.
that were so iconically Steve Martin.
Yeah.
And
And
like I said, I think it was so much fun to hear about where those things came from because he seemed to lift a lot of that from the people that he had worked with at those concessions and
Hmm.
such at Disney. And all the shopkeepers were kind of these quirky people who were, just like having a lot of fun running this store, but like they weren't performers. They were just these, kind of weird guys who give you advice and rib you and stuff. And I
Hmm.
think it was like one of the store owners at one of the Disney shops who would do that, who would say, well, excuse me.
Yeah.
And he kind of like just like took little pieces of their personality and put them into the show, and they became these um repeatable lines that like everybody in the country was saying, but
Yeah.
meanwhile it's Doris at the cigar store or whatever. Or
Right.
said one night when I was catching out earlier, I just love those kind of stories.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that was in the 50s when he was working there, and so now this is like 20 plus years later, and yeah, so that seed was planted, and yeah, yeah, I think it came from what he told the lighting guy that no matter what he says, don't put the light at the certain spot. So he was like telling him to put it there, and the guy wouldn't do it. I think that's how that came out. See, he'd be like
Spotlight.
he getting madder and madder that the guy wasn't doing it. Oh, it's so
Just
good.
silliness.
Yeah,
Just silliness.
yeah, and then yeah, and then the Saturday Night Live thing, especially the two wild and crazy
crazy
guys.
guys.
Right. See, and he got Aykroyd into that too. I forget where that was like. I think that was part of his comedy routine. He would now and then he would fall into that voice, but
Yeah,
they made that whole because that became really visual with those guys wearing like they wear those
all those
wacky
crazy
prints,
outfits.
right? That didn't match
Yeah,
and the hats and they like swagger.
yeah,
So that's they turned that into a whole world.
Mhm. Yeah, another one with the false, with the confidence, even though they look so
Exactly.
stupid.
Yeah. Same thing.
Like they're the greatest things in the world, and they look so stupid.
Similar
um,
to the Will Ferrell, Chris Kattan, what were the Roxbury,
oh
Night at
yeah.
Roxbury? Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right. Like an earlier
similar
generation
concept.
of that.
Yes.
Oh, that was yeah. I remember the first time I saw that was when Jim Carrey was the guest on there, so there was like the three of them doing that, and it just took off. So, um, oh yeah, I have no yeah heroic qualities that were delusional. That's what that's what I love, the delusion. Oh yeah, for the first album, Let's Go Small. Yeah. Um, yeah. I remember when The Jerk came out. That might be. I think that's probably the first time I had heard of him when that movie was coming out. But of course, like I didn't see that when that came out. I was what 8 or 9 or something. I turned 9 the year that it came out. Depends on what time of year it came out. But
Your
I.
parents didn't let you watch that? What was? I thought everybody's parents let them watch that. No?
Yeah,
Okay.
that Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Porky's,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I saw it in the theater, but I think might have been like 12 or 13. I'm a little toward the older end of the Gen X scale, but enough to kind of get what was going on and be one of those people who started spouting those lines. Like I will still sometimes say, I don't need anything, but give me a promise. And sometimes people will get it.
Yeah.
Who gets it. But been a long time. Not everybody remembers this movie.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, this chair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
This
remember
ashtray.
yeah, next thing you know, he's like, walking out, he's got like things attached to him, like, a toilet seat with him, or his poor little dog is barking at him. But once again, just silliness.
Yeah.
That film was just so silly.
Hey,
But
back when they made phone books and I got my first one, I was pretty excited about that. No one came to kill me they saw my name too. So if you remember, it was just random. He just pointed and I forget he came to kill him. But yeah, so stupid, but so funny.
Yeah. I wanted to watch it again, but it's not streaming free anywhere right now. And then
Oh, yeah.
I gotta. I already have like tough time scheduling things, so it's tough to schedule time to watch a movie. But yeah, but I can't remember. I probably saw it on cable or rented it like it's sometime in the '80s, and I don't think I've seen it since then. But that was like my first memory of him, seeing the commercials for that, and I thought, ooh, that felt like taboo if I was able to see that. um, yeah, he described that scene too. That's like the cover of the movie too, right? The
yeah,
movie
that's
poster
true.
always
That's true.
has all that stuff. So that's like a good, rendition of it. Like that's him. That visual thing. That yeah. um,
Absolutely. That's true. Kind of says it. But I know Carl Reiner was involved with that, and he
oh
did a little
yeah.
cameo in the movie with
Mhm.
the glasses that he came up with that made him rich. And then it turned out that they made people go cross-eyed. No, it was like a glasses holder that was in the middle in like the bridge of the glasses. So eventually people went cross-eyed and he went broke because everybody filed lawsuits. But I think Carl Reiner was the first one to come on like the news and show that he was cross.
Oh, you did that good.
I'll watch it later. I can't see what it looks
That's great.
like. But yeah, to have Carl Reiner behind you in your first movie
Mm.
is a good thing.
Mhm.
And yeah, I was once again happy to kind of hear how like all the bits and pieces of the things from early in his career
Yeah.
kind of found their way into that film. It's kind of like when you do that first book and it's got like all the things from your life that you get to put into it, and then like that's like this diving point where he became this leading man type of actor. And he's had some great movies over the years. I mean, like you said, we kind of stopped at that point, and he didn't go into all the things that he had done, which are probably viewed as, they're more like sophisticated films and such, of course. But it was still a pretty funny beginning.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What a star, and he's like a mega star now. So yeah, that wasn't an accident. And do you guys have a favorite movie of his?
Oh gosh. Do I have to have just one, or can I?
No.
Yeah. I love Parenthood. I think he's
Mm.
excellent in that movie, and Bringing Down the House is also another one of my
Oh
favorites
yeah,
with
that's right.
Queen
I forgot about
Latifah.
that. Yeah, that was
Yes,
good.
he plays that so well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that
Um,
one again. I forgot about that. I saw that in the theater.
yeah, I have a couple. Has anybody seen Dirty Rotten Scoundrels?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is a really, really funny movie.
Yeah, that was really good.
He's really funny in that movie. And of course, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
classic.
yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
And in fact, when I worked in New York City back in the 80s, I walked past them filming the scene in New York City where he's fighting for a cab.
Oh.
And they weren't actually filming, I think, at that moment. He was like standing next to a cab, and there was like a double dressed just like him on the ground under the cab, like he fell. So there were like two of them there. But in New York City, sometimes you walk around and they'd be, doing something really interesting like that. But I remember seeing them do that scene and then, get the movie. But that is a really hysterical
Did you
movie
see
too.
Kevin Bacon too?
He's almost a straight man.
What-
He's almost a straight man in
yeah,
that
yeah.
one. So
What wasn't he racing? Was it Kevin Bacon that he
He
was racing?
was.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
get to the
no,
cab.
I don't remember seeing him. Although I did ride the elevator with Columbia Pictures, Kevin Bacon. But
Oh,
I don't think it was the same. I don't think it was the same week.
mhm. Yeah. We did a Return of the '80s episode on that on planes, trains, and automobiles. Yeah, at Thanksgiving time one year. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Remember that?
We did that with
Classic, classic.
yeah.
It's hard to watch
80s
that movie
television.
because it's like looking in a mirror, not just appearance wise, but his intolerance for everything in that movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm kind of like that. That's not really how I should be.
Right.
I need to change. And I've had 40 years to do it, and I'm still kind of the same way. So,
Yeah. Oh, that would have been funny if they had switched names. John Candy was
oh, I know,
Dell in
Dell,
that. Yeah. If they had switched, that
Neil.
would have been
Oh,
freaking
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. Uh,
But
well, we all have room for improvement. So,
yeah, and I loved Three Amigos too.
oh,
Like
yeah.
me and my brother and sister, we watch that all the time and quoted it all the time. It's been a while since I watched that too, but yeah, the
Which I think
combination.
if I played that for my daughter right now, she'd be like, "This is the dumbest. Like, why are you laughing at this?" So, but it's hilarious.
It is.
I mean,
The
three of
three
the
of them.
biggest names in comedy at the time are in
Yeah,
that movie. So,
I
yeah,
think I saw that in the theaters too. I saw a
yeah.
lot of Steve Martin movies in theaters at the time.
yeah.
You had another one, Paul?
Um, oh, I mean, Father of the Bride.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was a good one too. Yeah, yeah.
I rewatched that after while listening to the bio. So it just came back on or Hulu or something. But yeah,
Uh,
that was always a really cute movie.
yeah.
Do you remember either one of you remember the movie All of Me that he was in with Lily
Yes,
Lily
Tomlin?
Tomlin. Yeah, yeah.
that was good
Yes.
too. The
I
Lily
think that is
Tomlin.
what, yeah, I think I mean, just the slapstick piece of it, but he's playing a woman, like he's trying to act like a woman, and because she's, her spirit's inside of him or whatever. And I
Mhm.
mean, I just think it just showed his talent. I don't think the movie did great at the box office, but I think it
Mhm.
just shows his ability. And he had not been acting that many years when that movie came out. So that's one of I'll just add that to the list too. That's another one of my favorites of him.
Yeah. I don't remember that much, but there was The Man with Two Brains. I remember when that came out,
Oh, that
and I
was funny
watched.
too. So funny movie.
I watched Siskel and Ebert review of it. They trashed it like
Oh,
so bad.
jeez.
Wait, wait, what's the man with two brains? They
Yeah,
trash.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's a shame.
yeah,
I mean, that was funny. It wasn't
yeah,
like, a brilliant piece of art or anything, but it was funny.
yeah.
Captain Turner was funny too.
I I didn't see that one and Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. I didn't see those two movies of his,
Uh-huh.
so I need to go
I
back and
saw
watch them.
Dead Man. I saw Dead Man Don't Bad
One
too.
one's in black and
That was
white, and I think that was a like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna watch a black and white movie, but
Um,
so
it
Yeah,
wasn't
might
his
have.
best. It was
yeah.
like I think a takeoff on like a noir detective movie or something. And there was some silliness in it, but it wasn't one of his best efforts.
Is that one where they took like clips from other old movies and then like inserted him?
Um, I I'm trying to remember.
It,
Um,
it might be.
something like that, but I don't remember it being like amazingly effectively done,
Right.
if that
Yeah.
was the case.
Hmm.
Or that they were more, I'm more remembering it as them kind of mimicking those old films, but I
Oh,
could be
okay.
wrong. It could just be it that it wasn't one of my favorites, so I'm not remembering it as vividly as some of the others.
Yeah, I think I just heard about it. I don't think I've ever seen that one. But
It's not one of my favorite movies, but Little Shop of Horrors, he's in
oh
it
yeah,
for like 10 minutes. The
I was
dentist.
the dentist. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And we went to I mentioned the theater about a half hour from us that plays old movies. They showed it a while back. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go see Little Shop of Horrors. But that's the highlight of that movie for me is the 10 minutes that he's the dentist in there.
Hmm.
It's very funny. And
Yeah.
Bill Murray is one of the patients who like is kind of like getting off on getting his teeth,
Yeah.
and the dentist gets upset because he's a masochist. He wants to hurt people. And
Yeah.
the fact that
He
Bill
likes
Murray's
it.
enjoying it somehow. It's bizarre. But it is very outstanding kind of cameo
Yeah.
moment. He gets one.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's a fun movie too.
Um. Oh yeah. He must like get his humor from his mother too, because it towards the end of the book he was talking about his mother was on her deathbed, and he asked his 90-year-old mother if she ever had a miscarriage, and she said no, knock on wood.
Oh.
Hmm.
Yikes. Yeah, well, I guess you gotta have some kind of sense of humor. Yikes.
uh, but yeah, overall, I just love the process. It just like brought a lot back, and that was a great time. I do remember like that energy from the late '70s, comedy and everything. Those are really good
Yeah,
times. Classic.
it's kind of wild.
People weren't as careful with their comedy back then as
Right.
they are now.
Yeah.
So
Right. But that's why it was almost like kind of this taboo thing that you wanted. It's like
yeah.
almost like underground that you you wanted to get involved in listening to Monty Python and Steve Martin and
Mm.
Carlin.
And Monty Python used to air on PBS when
Oh
it
yeah.
was, yeah, Monty Python's Flying Circus. I remember seeing that on PBS as a kid.
See now, Monty Python, I don't remember seeing them until Saturday Night Live. Like Eric Idle would come on and host.
Okay.
I remember thinking he was really funny, but not knowing where the heck he was from, because I just don't, didn't have exposure to them yet.
Right.
But I became a huge Monty Python fan, eventually.
Yeah.
Well, the TV show was more bizarre than the movies, and the movies are funny, but
I've
they're
seen them since, and yes, I
yeah,
would agree.
yeah, yeah. So the movies are funny, but there are times that you're like, what is going on? I still don't. This many years later, still don't understand. But somebody
Right.
that found it funny.
But like you're saying, it was a little more like the Wild West when it came to like sketch comedy and such.
Yeah.
Because even with Saturday Night Live, if you watch those early Saturday Night Live episodes in like the first couple of seasons, sometime, well, first of all, it was like an hour and a half, so that's a lot of
Right.
time in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
to be doing comedy sketches. Sometimes you'd be watching a sketch and it would just go like, and you'd be wondering what it's even talking about. I don't know. And they would just like stop and move on. Like it would just stop and just like be flat, and everybody be like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one might be something really historical
I still
because it
watch
was
us.
very like kind of experimental. Like,
Mhm.
what was going to work and what wasn't, and sometimes it just didn't work.
Mhm.
Yeah, I still watch SNL with my daughter who's in college now, and I have to ask her like, okay, what am I missing? Explain this to me. What's
Of the new
what?
ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What's so funny about this? And, oh, okay, I get it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I don't watch anymore.
But yeah, those like everybody
Oh,
has
right.
a lot of nostalgia for the original cast and everything, but they remember like all the classic skits. But they did a lot of skits in there. There's
Yeah,
a lot of bombs in there
Yeah, some of
too.
them were really
yeah.
weird, just weird stuff.
The Muppets, there's like a weird Muppets
That's great.
the
Remember
first season.
that they had like a weird little Muppet that was like a
Yeah,
little dragon monster that
yeah,
came on. He was just a little too risque. They had to get rid of him.
yeah, yeah. I think that only lasted like a season. Yeah, it
I
was Jim
remember that.
Henson too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a strange thing to have on a sketch comedy show full of double entendres and political jokes and things. So
Right. Yeah.
it was an experiment.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Um, did you guys have any other like any final thoughts or anything?
I don't have any thoughts about this book, but I know he's written several others, and it's kind of interested me and interested me in checking out some of the other books that he has.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
had read
Yeah.
a novel that actually they made it into a movie. I read the novel. It was not bad. It was called Shop Girl. It was just an older man that kind of falls in love with a younger,
Oh,
much
he wrote
younger.
that?
Yeah, he did. He
Oh,
wrote it.
okay. Okay.
It was interesting. It was kind of an interesting like character study. So
All right.
Check that out.
Yeah. 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 And yeah, definitely, I recommend everybody to like go on to YouTube, check out some of these old comedy skits. So, yeah, they might seem goofy now, but they were pretty groundbreaking back then. It's still funny when you see just the.
it's
I
still
love physical comedy, so yeah.
I got to see him when he came with Martin Short here in town,
Oh,
and it
really?
was such an awesome show. It was so funny.
Yeah.
They are such a good duo.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's true. And I'm still watching Only Murders in the Building.
hmm.
Oh, I haven't seen
They're,
that yet.
they're great
Yeah.
together. No,
Oh, you've got to go back and watch that.
they're
Oh.
great together. And
Yeah,
they did a couple of seasons back where they did a musical because Martin Short plays a producer, Broadway producer,
Oh.
and they produced a musical, and Steve Martin was the star. And it actually, I mean, I'm a theater person as it was, so that to me was really great. But
Oh.
they actually, by the end of the series, were doing numbers, and Steve Martin was singing, and it was great. It was really great,
Wow.
and they are just so all around talented that you can pull that off.
Mm-hmm.
You can sing that, and it was a difficult number. I'll be honest with you. It was a difficult number that he did, and they made a big thing out of how hard it was, but it actually was very hard. So I was like, this is
That just shows the talent. Man. He can do
exactly.
he can do everything. Yeah.
yeah. The series is so good. You got to check it out, Paul.
Uh-huh. Um, Trying to think if he had like any really serious roles. Do you remember? Can you think of
He
any?
did. He did a couple of. Are you talking movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a couple of. Was it Grand Canyon that he was in? I think. Did you? That was like a
I'd
early
heard of that.
'90s movie,
Hmm.
and yeah, and then L.A. Story I think is another one. If I remember that was those were both
Oh,
early '90s,
did he
and those
write
are
that one?
maybe he was. I think that's the one he was in with his wife. I don't think they're married, but I think that's where they met, and then, or
Hmm.
no, they met in. She was in also in All of Me, and then she was in L.A. Story. I think I'm getting that
Right.
right. But then they
Hmm.
eventually divorced. But yeah, I think those are two serious roles, so you might want to see those. I mean, it's just it's. I think he was trying to go. It's kind of what Bill Murray did, I think, in some fashion, going into
Hmm.
more serious roles, just to show the talent that he has. But it's for me, I was like, oh, I expected him to a joke every once in a while, and they weren't there.
Uh,
So, but it was, still decent movies,
mhm.
and he did a nice job in them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I'm sure
Yeah.
there are other things that he's done that are more serious, but those are the two that I remember quickly.
Mhm. Yeah, that's right too. It's funny you mentioned his wife. He never like talks about like being married in the book. Like he mentioned like relationships, but only because like it forwarded his comedic career. They had an influence on his comedy. But yeah, I think he had mentioned getting divorced, but he never said anything about getting married or anything that I remember. So I thought that was it.
I don't remember that either in the book.
There's
Yeah,
one that's too.
yeah, he's
Yeah, L.A. Story and Grand Canyon came out in 1991, and he was also the writer and executive producer of L.A. Story. So yeah, you're right.
hmm yeah. I don't know how I knew that, but
Oh.
I don't know what I ate this morning, but I knew that. And I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, brains are crazy.
He was also in the Muppet movie. You mentioned the Muppets earlier.
Oh, that's
So
right. Yeah.
yeah, he was the waiter.
Uh-huh.
And you talk about quotes, Suzanne. The my daughter and I, when we watched that, his line in there is "excellent choice" at one point for whatever they order, and we would always say that. So just goofy stuff like that. But yeah, excellent choice.
He is quite quotable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man. Yeah, he definitely had to have been on the Muppet Show too. I'll have to look for that. Yeah.
Yeah. It said. I think I did.
That's a book. On there.
I'm looking at the
We had an episode.
Wikipedia. Yeah, Wikipedia page says he hosted SNL 16 times.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's a record. It seems like it would have to be, but who knows? There might be somebody else
Yeah.
that's hosted more.
Yeah. Oh, the King Tuts. Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
one of my favorites. That funky tut.
we were listening to the 70 station on Sirius XM, and that came on just out of nowhere. It's like, you know, because you're used to Steely Dan
Last.
or Fleetwood Mac,
Yeah.
and here comes Gloria Gaynor, but here we are with Steve Martin and King Tut.
King Tut.
It was fun.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's, this is 50-year-old stuff and we're still talking about it, that
Mm.
we still remember it. So that's a testament to his legacy.
Yep, definitely. All right. Yeah, so I guess that'll wrap things up for this. And we decided for our next book, it's going to be The Last Mixtape by Steve Matsumoto. So I'm gonna see if no, I think we found the email, so I think so I'll see if
Yeah.
he'll come on the show. So we might have the author on the next show. So
So,
of the GenX Book Club. Yeah. So I'm already about 40% through that. So yeah, yep. So that'll be a good one. And
More tonight.
I haven't started it yet. I
Try
think
to-
both of you are ahead of me.
yeah. So yeah. So we'll see. We'll try to be consistent.
Yeah,
We'll see what happens.
I might have 3 months to read this. So
Yeah, who knows what will happen? We're aiming for the end of this month, and we'll see what happens.
that'll work.
Yeah. All right, and yeah, and thank you guys as usual. It's been a blast. Love doing this, and yeah, I want to thank everybody for listening. We're getting a lot of awesome feedback and requests to come on.
Yeah, it's
thanks.
exciting.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
glad.
yeah. So
Keep it up, everybody.
people love it when we're picking up what we're putting down, so they'll take it.
I'm starting to wonder if you still had a full-time job because every time I log on to Facebook, you're doing a live podcast. I saw the other day, I was like, oh, and I listened to what you were doing.
Oh yeah,
You're busy. You're busy.
Yeah, actually, I should say that on every Thursday. Well, this Thursday I'll be on, but the following Thursday will be 1 week that I'm not on. But usually every Thursday I go on at 7 p.m. Eastern and do a live stream, and we'll do writing sprints. So what happens is I'll talk for a little bit, let people come in, and then I set a timer for 20 minutes so people can focus on writing if they're working or whatever they're working on, and then we take a little bit of a break after 20 minutes. I'll read some Gen X trivia, and then we go into one more 20-minute sprint, and then we come back and wrap things up. So that's fun. I'm getting a couple of people have joined me and chatted on me, so but hopefully that'll keep growing. But I'm going to stay consistent. It's helping me with my writing. I'm getting my writing done. I'm on my first round of edits in my Journey the Roadrunner book, so try to get that done this year.
Very cool.
I saw a
Yeah.
replay of that and I thought if Paul could do this all day and like I could maybe get some work done then because I would really be forced to, you know, and I know I have
Yeah.
20 minutes to get this whatever done. And
You're a
so,
role model,
Oh,
Paul.
yeah,
maybe I should do that for my own work and while I'm working.
maybe not a bad idea for all of us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially these days with the technology, it's
Oh
easy to
my gosh.
get sidetracked. But
So distracting.
yeah, so if you set aside like that 20 minutes to focus, it's really cool. It goes by so fast. 20 minutes. Um, all right, so we can. Yep. So Dell, you're on hiatus now for your radio show.
We are on summer break until I think the beginning of August. So, but we'll be back with, as far as I know, they haven't fired me yet. Coming back on Saturdays and Sundays with 4 hours of the '80s. So we'll have more, and we're gonna change a few things up. I'm gonna try some new stuff.
Okay.
That'll be forthcoming. I'm still thinking through that.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, I love
Yeah.
that show so much. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for sending them.
No, that's all right. Yeah, Paul gets Suzanne. I had to add you. Paul gets the replays, so I get a download of each hour. So I just send him a text every week, and so if he listens, great. If he doesn't, and sometimes I think he tunes in for an hour here or there. That's
Mhm.
fine. They're there if he wants to listen. So
Yep, yep.
yeah.
Um,
Cool.
yeah, I think even one time I took one on a run. I went running.
No.
It was still while I was with
Okay.
my marathon training. So yep,
Okay. Hopefully it was inspiring. I don't know.
yep.
You seem to inspire a lot of people. Maybe I can pay you back a little bit for that. So
Definitely, yeah. I love the show so much. Yeah,
Excellent.
okay.
yeah, yeah. All the segments you do are awesome, and the music is incredible because it's not the same old. Like you do play hits too, but you
Yeah.
play some hits that people forgot about. So
Yeah. Try to throw a
that
few of
deserve
those in there.
attention. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Love it. All right, Suzanne, what's going on with you? You just had a big announcement the other day, huh? Are you allowed to say?
Yeah, yes. So, no, no, I am allowed to say. Well, first off, I'm in a poetry anthology that is focused on kind of the Stevie Nicks aesthetic, which is a really cool thing to do an anthology on as far as themes go. So that's coming out June 16th, but you can pre-order that. It's called White Winged Doves, and that is by Madville Publishing. And Madville Publishing is also going to publish my short story collection, which is called
Oh,
Gore, Lust, and Kin. So I'm really excited about that, and that's gonna be coming up in like September, October. So that'll be a lot of fun. And you can kind of keep up on that at SuzanneMattaboni.com and or even maybe onceinalifetime.com, which is once in a lifetime novel.com,
mhm.
which is for my debut novel, which takes place in the 80s. So yeah, yeah, things are moving and shaking, and I'm happy.
Yeah, love it.
What's the name of the new book? The one that comes out, not the short story, but the
Gore.
one after.
Oh, White Winged Doves is
Okay.
the
And
poetry
then the other
anthology.
the other one.
And my anthology is short stories, well, short fiction, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
more than just stories. But it's Gore, Lust, and Kin, because it's got
Okay.
some
And
horror stories, functional relationship stories, and some like family obligation type of stories. So it's
okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you how'd you come up with the title. That explained it. So there you go.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So you have your choice.
Hmm. Oh, yeah, maybe we can cover at least the white winged dove one on here.
Cool. I'll talk to you about that. I'll give you some information.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that we did a reading for the Georgia Center for the book. And what I noticed with the reading, and maybe like 20 different people read, a lot of Gen X references, because of course Stevie Nicks goes back into our past and the 80s, the mid 70s. So there are a lot of people where this resonated with their memories of their youth in the 80s slash late 70s. So it could be very appropriate.
Yep, yep. That's what I'm thinking. That'd be awesome. Yeah,
Quick
we
read
could
too.
have we could have like a rotation of the writers from it too. Maybe I'm thinking out loud. Probably shouldn't be thinking out loud live on the air, but
I was gonna bring that up, but I was gonna email you. So out
that
there in the
sounds good.
world.
Yeah, yeah. And oh, and one last thing. People might remember Laura Lee, author that was on here for Saturn's favorite playlist, and if I don't think I, yeah, it's been a while. I don't think I knew about it last time we were on here, but she actually has a podcast called Saturn's Favorite Playlist, and she brings guests on every week, and then she picks 4 songs from her book. So she's going order through her book, and then they do deep dives into each of the songs, which is really
Cool stuff.
cool. There, and the episode just came up this week, so yeah, so look
Can,
up.
can you say what your songs were?
Um. Oh, yep. Yeah, I got a bad memory. It was a while since we recorded. I wrote them down. All right, "You're No Good" by Linda Ronstadt, for
Okay.
example.
Ah,
"End of the Road" by Boyz II Men. I have
Oh,
some fun hot takes on there. We had a blast with that one. The guy being a wussy pushover, but and then "This Used to Be My Playground" by Madonna,
oh yeah.
and then "We Got to Get Out of This Place" by the Animals. So, yep.
nice.
Yeah.
Yep. So we covered those 4
Sounds like fun.
songs. So that's out now. So that just came out either yesterday or the day before. So yep, yep. Her show. I've listened to every episode because when I found out about it, I went back and listened to all of them. Oh, it's so good. So yeah, she's doing a really good job with that. So yeah, check her out. And yep.
Excellent.
And as I said, she was a guest on here, so you can go back and check out that episode as well if you haven't seen that yet. So that book is really good too. So yep.
Yeah, that was fun.
All right, everybody. And yep, thank you guys again. And thank you everybody for listening and watching. And we'll see you next time.
Okay, great.
Whenever that may be. Hopefully next month.
Everyone.